Okay, so basically, we are from the Spring 2014 Chemistry Lab, and my name is Chelsea Croft, of course. Over here we have Victor Brown, we have Michael Craig, and we have Hunter, who's doing the film. Okay, basically, so what are antacids? The definition of an antacid are weak bases that are used to neutralize stomach acids, which is HCl. What was the purpose of this experiment? Well, we have 3 different experiments, and each one had a different purpose, but they all went together. Okay, so the first one was basically to know how to set up a titration lab and basically how to use a burette. For the second lab, we determined how much HCl was neutralized by calcium carbonate. And for the third lab, we compared the name brand to generic antacid and determined which one we would choose. Okay, so basically for lab 1, during this lab, we just set up the burette, like I said earlier, and we basically neutralized an acid with the base. And we used a pH indicator, which was phenolphthalein. And for the calculations, we found the number of moles of HCl that was neutralized and the numbers that was added to the flask. For Titration 2 lab, we repeated the previous lab, however this time we had a control to determine how much acid was neutralized by calcium carbonate. The desired result was a faint pink for at least 30 seconds, and there's our faint pink that we got in the lab. Okay, for Titration 3 lab, we basically had 2 different brands. We had a name brand and a generic brand, and we had the calcium carbonate as a control and wanted to see which one neutralized more moles of HCl. So we used the data from the last 2 labs, and then for this lab, we just found the percent of calcium carbonate in the antacid tablets. So over here, the lighter pink, that's the name brand, and it's like the lighter color. It took like 30 seconds to get that one. On the farther side is the darker pink. That's the generic brand, and it's more pink because the general color of it was a pink already, so of course it would be more brighter when you put it in the calcium carbonate. So basically, these are the bar graphs that we received for the percent of calcium carbonate. We repeated the same experiment 2 times. We got 2 different results, which are both listed. So with this graph, we have the name brand, which was 12% of calcium carbonate, and the generic brand was 6% of calcium carbonate. For the name brand for experiment 3 repeat, we have 34% for the name brand of calcium carbonate and 25% of generic brand of calcium carbonate. Okay, so basically these are the bar graphs for the cost per tablet. No matter what, it was the same. So basically it was 0.92 for the name brand and 0.45% for the generic brand. Okay, so these are the 2 tables that we did for each experiment. Both of them have the antacid used, which is the name brand, generic brand. We have the grams of antacid, which we measured out, the percent of calcium carbonate, and the HCl that was neutralized. As you can see, for the name brand for the first one, we have 0.516 grams. For the percent calcium is 12%, and then for the moles neutralized will be 0.0012. For the generic brand, we have 0.523 grams, and then 6.0% of calcium carbonate and 0.0019 moles. For the repeat experiment, for the name brand, we had 0.257 grams, which was basically half. We used half in this experiment. And then we had 34% calcium carbonate, 0.00075 moles for the name brand. For generic brand, we used 0.256 grams, which gave us 25% of calcium carbonate and 0.0013 moles of HCl neutralized. Okay, so the conclusion of this basically is that, as you can tell, with the generic brand, it neutralizes more moles of HCl, which is what you want. And obviously it's cheaper. And being college students, we like cheaper things. So we all chose the generic brand for this experiment. That's it. Thank you.